follow it in the class. So today I want us to go through the course outline. Then we'll discuss the learning outcome of the course. Then also the requirements, things that you need to get for the course, and how you should prepare your mind and your body for this course. So without wasting much time, I want us to go through the course outline. After we finish, then we'll take the first week discussion. But whilst we go through, if you have any question at any stage of the lecture, feel free to draw my attention. You can indicate by raising your hand, or you may draw my attention by signifying or using my name or pointing out your concern that you have a question, which I'll give you the chance to do so. What's the class size?
30, sir.
Good. I believe they are rare 30, not virtual. Are they virtual? Rare 30.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many people are? How many of you are available now?
21.
Okay, so you have some 7 virtuals, eh? Or they'll
Yes,
come
sir.
later.
Yeah, so I think they'll join later.
Okay, good. All right, so let's start from the session. This is your last class for the day.
Yes.
I know you might be exhausted. So based on that, I'm not going to do too much talking. I want you to be involved. So I may be asking you some of the questions when the need arise. Feel free and then express yourself so that the class will be active and we can have a very good interactive session. Okay, so first thing, principles of data communication. I believe all of you here have been doing communication in your daily basis, from your normal day-to-day activities, moving from one place to another. You do your manual communication, both analog and then digital communication. So here we are coming to learn formally about what are the principles involved in data communication and the processes that are also involved, and how data communication takes place in networking environment. So first, the course describe the fundamental principles of data communication. So at the end of the day, students are supposed to be introduced to this fundamental concept, including transmission media, network architectures, protocols, and the basic networking concept. And this will emphasize on practical understanding of how data is transmitted, processed, and managed in modern communication systems. So at the end of the day, each of you are required to understand the basic principles involved in setting up a concept of data communication network, and then also how data is transmitted from one end to another, including the process that is involved in data processing and management. So the expected outcome of the course, we are required at the end of this course to understand and be able to explain the basic concepts of data communication and networking. So it's going to be twofold. You have to understand the concept of data communication and networking. At the end of the day, we'll see the difference between data communication and what networking also is about. Then describe the components and functions of data communication systems, things that made up the data communication system. Then third one, you should be able to identify the different transmission media and their characteristics. Then you should also understand network topologies and architecture, what is involved, and how they are designed. Then explain data transmission mode and techniques. data transmission modes and techniques. We have 3 basic modes that we're going to talk about how they are implemented. Then also describe OSI and then TCP models. These are fundamental concepts involved in data communication and networking, OSI and then TCP models. Then we'll also look at we have to identify the errors and apply basic error detection methods or mechanisms of how, during transmission, how errors can be controlled or how they can be detected and then controlled. So we have to understand that. Then finally, to be able to demonstrate the basic network configuration and troubleshooting skills. So do I have some professionals here? Networking professionals? Or yet to discover them?
Yes,
Or
sir.
you are now finding your feet? Are you all working in the industry, IT industry, IT field?
Not all, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
But some people are here like that, right? Or none? Hey, are we safe?
They are hiding.
Don't worry. I won't ask you any difficult questions. We are all sharing ideas, so feel free to express yourself. Okay, so the course is divided into modules, and each module contains a set of topics that we are supposed to discuss. So I want us to go through the detailed outline, what we are expected to do under each of the modules. So with the model outline, the first one, we are expected to know the fundamental, that's the introduction to data communication. This is supposed to take us 2 weeks. So we are starting today. God willing, next week we'll finish. And this will include definition of data communication, component of data communication system, which involve sender, receiver, transmission medium, message, and protocols. All this will be discussed. Then the next one is about data. We'll look at the difference between data and information. We'll also look at characteristics of effective communication system that is involving the delivery, accuracy, timeliness, and jitter. All those things will be discussed here. Then we'll come to the types of communication, analog versus digital. So that's what we made up the first model. And the expected outcome that I'm supposed to know is at the end of the day, you should be able to define and explain the key concept of data communication and then identify system components and their roles that they play in the system. So we are starting from there. I hope you are ready for it, right? Then module 2, we'll be looking at data representation and signals. This will lead us to the week 3. Then we'll come to the third one. I'll share this one with you and then also populate the LMS page. So after this class, from tomorrow when you visit the place, you will see all your materials, everything being uploaded. We'll also look at transmission media. That is week 4. That's where I'm sure some of you will now begin to feel you're at home with your practical skills in main transmission medium. We have 3 of them. We have, okay, let's say 2, guided medium and then the unguided medium. So when you take the guided medium, we'll look at the 3 main guided medium. The twisted pair cable, the coaxial cable, as well as the fiber optic cable. But for the main transmission medium, we have wired and wired and wireless, or guided and then unguided medium. So we'll be discussing them. Then we'll move on to the next one, which is data transmission modes. Data transmission modes, as I said earlier. We'll look at the first one, simplex, half duplex, and a full duplex. then serial versus power transmission, then synchronous and asynchronous transmission. Those are the things. Fifth one is going to be network topologies and types. Network topologies. I believe most of you might have this in the back of your mind. Then we'll look at the network devices and their functions. Network devices and their functions. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So that is how we are going to approach the lesson. Then as we move down, we'll start with the OSI model, which will be week 8 to week 9, but depend how we go. And that also discover the two main models that we have, TCP and then the OSI model. Then we'll move on to error detection and control. Error detection and control mechanism. And that's where we're going to end the session on that. The final one is going to be data communication protocols. The various protocols that are involved in data communication, we'll look at it. Then we'll have the introduction to networking and internet, where we'll be discussing the basic things about internet, the WW, the DNS, and then the service providers, internet service providers. And finally, we'll conclude on basic network security concepts. So basic concept in network security, where we're talking about introduction to security threats, the basic protection methods that you can use, firewall, antivirus, and the safe network practices. So that is the outline, 12 solid a week, which comprises about 14 units. I'm sure you are fully prepared. Now we'll have the practical session, as I said. So where are the areas that involve practicals, as much as possible, we'll try and do some of them online. And then those that involve physical presence, like the termination, where you are supposed to be terminating the cables using the appropriate connectors. When we come together on campus, then we'll do that. So on that grounds, with the practical aspects, I would like you to note the following. You are expected to have one, a computer for yourself, minimum of 5 gig and 4 gig RAM, and then 500 GB HDD or 256 SSD. Then you need crimping tools. So you have to work in a group. So you say you are 30 or 34. Course rep. Hello. I'm off.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, almost 46.
Is that 46?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I thought you said 30 something. All right, then we need to form a group so that you can come together and purchase some of the items. That will be easy for us to be able to have our practicals.
Okay,
and
sir.
then those, so I'll send you the list. But for now, you should be prepared for, but there are some of them who will provide when you come to guide you. But because of your number, will not be able to meet your demand, everybody. So you have to work in a group. I'll prefer you having either 3 or 5, depending on the number of the class, the size of the class. Minimum of 3, maximum of 5 members in a group, so that you can get the crimping tool, RJ45, and then a cable. The cable, if you don't mind, the class can buy 1 box, then you all share. But for the crimping tool, at least each group supposed to have 1 crimping tool and then 1 media tester. Then for RJ45, if you are 5 in a group, then you need a minimum of 10 pieces 10 pieces. So you should discuss it among yourself how you want to be paid. Either 3 in a group or 5 in a group. Maximum should be 5, minimum 3. And those ones, when we are done, the cables are for you. So you take them home for personal use, and then when you go out there, you share the experience of your first time practicals. But if there are some of you here who have practical skills, and then you can provide the class with or support the class with cables, that one too is welcome. You can decide to volunteer and bring us some half piece of box or full box for us to use for our practical demonstration. We will gladly welcome you and acknowledge you accordingly, and heaven will also reward you for your support. You have some people who make that pledge or support.
Yes, with the cable,
Yes.
the AG45. What is the length? What length do you think?
No, are you talking about the connectors or the cable?
The cable itself. Because I
The
have
cable, yeah.
Yes, I have some, but they are not. It's not lengthy. I think 3 meters long. I have about 6. So I don't know whether the length will be okay for that.
Yes, 3 meters will be fine, but it means that have they been cut already, or they have been terminated already?
It has the connector. I'm using it for my printers, but I got a lot. So
no, I want you to do the termination yourself.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So we need a cable that is not terminated, raw cable. So
okay, sir.
Normally they sell them in box.
Okay, sir.
Or you can decide to buy in length. But when you're buying in pieces, it is not economical.
Okay,
if the class can come together and buy one box, you can use it for this stage. When you finish, we'll do another one at level 200, second semester. You do another networking. This one is data communication and network. At that level, you do pure network, which you also need a cable again. So when you decide as a class, you can go in for one box and use part and then keep the rest for future use. I pray the Lord will sustain all of us so that when you get there, you can reuse it. But when you go in for the pieces, they may sell to you, but it may not be economical. So the minimum length I will require you to do is 3 meters. And each group will be required to provide, if you have 5, then you should be able to provide 4 cables. 3 meters, 4. 2 for crossover, and then 2 for straight through. There's a reason for it. I want everybody to participate, so that's how it will be. So I would suggest that you put yourself together and get one box. But with the crimping tools, each group is required to come along with one. Then media tester also, you can get one. And there are some toolkits that are available. When you buy, you have the media tester, you have the crimping tool, and some few IJ45 connectors, and then cable clippers all to come together. And those of your seniors in level 200 now, some of them, the last time we met, they brought some nice package ones. I don't know how much they got it though. So you can make the inquiries and then prepare yourself accordingly. Are you fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the mode of assessment. Yes, because of the practical nature of the course, emphasis is going to be made more on the practical session than the theoretical discussion. Even though your end of semester is going to be 60-40, but in the internal assessment, I'm going to enforce that you work around the practical session. So continual assessment, which is made up of 40 marks, you will not have a face-to-face or online quiz. you will be doing more of the practical sessions, which will be compiled and summed together to give you your 40% for the end of semester. Then the exam will also take care of 60. So in my case, there will be no quiz like the online that you go and take it online on the LMS, or you come face to face and write. But what you'll be doing is that some of the things that we'll be discussing, you work some of them together in a group. There are some of them individually, you do them. An LMS page will be created for you to provide a solution and then upload the files and the result over there. But no AI content generation. No one should supply AI content. You have, even if you use AI, you have to read through and enhance the document before you submit. Are we together here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is how the course is going to be delivered. And there are some reference materials. All of them will be uploaded on the LMS for you. But course rep, after we end the session, I'll push all of them to you for now. But they will still be uploaded at the LMS platform for your personal access.
Yes,
so on this note, so this is how the course is going to be delivered. And this is the requirements that you need to know and how you should also prepare yourself. It will involve both ends, your commitment and your dedication and my support. Then we work together to achieve our objective. Any question before we proceed to today's business? Okay, if no question, then we are taking the first part of our model. If you look at it, the first part of the outline is saying that we should discuss the basis of data communication. And that is what we are going to do, the basic part. That involves data communication and its fundamentals, data and information, and then how data is represented, the flow, and so on. So we'll go through it, then we see where we'll end. So now, I always encourage that even though you are doing distance, there are some things you have to write them down as your record. So those of you who have something to write, kindly indicate by writing this objective for your reference and your guide to serve as a benchmark for our studies. For some of you, don't take picture. Some of you take your phone, you take pictures, and then it goes into your image folders, and you don't even know where they are stored. So our advice, you write it down. That will be more efficient on my behalf. Are you ready to write? Are we here?
Yes, sir.
So put down this objective, the fundamentals, introduction to data communication.
Okay,
So
sir.
write the definition of data communication, component of data communication system, and to bracket, you write sender, receiver, transmission medium, message protocol. Then data versus information. Then the last part is characteristics of effective data communication. There we go. All right, are you done? The cameraman, I hope you have something to write. This morning, I know you have a long day. You have a good session starting from programming with C++. You had a nice time. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson.
Yes.
Followed by, yes, you have a lot of packages that you have to contain. We had the following one. Is it Introduction to Information System? Or what is the second course that you have today? System Analysis and Design. Did it come on?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so we have a double for next week. Then the third one. What is it? Is it mathematics, right?
Yes, sir.
It came on.
Yes.
Mr. Notte, I know you and you have enjoyed the class.
Yes.
So let's add up this one so you can go home and rest for tomorrow. All right, so let's start. First part, we need to understand what data communication is and then its fundamentals concepts. Now, as the word goes, data communication, in your own words, as you know, communication takes place in every aspect of our life. In a daily basis, we all communicate with one another. And we share items. We exchange money. We exchange commodities. We exchange a lot of things. They are all forms of communication. Some involve transactional communication. Some are business communication. Others also involve social communication and then family communication, people to have their relationship communication. But here we are talking about data communication, which involve the process of sending information or data from one networking device to another. So when you come to data communication in the context of our course, then we are going to look at the basis that involve how data is moved or forwarded from one networking device to another through a transmission medium. And this also will be guided by a set of rules that define how that data needs to be transmitted. Now, at the end of the day, you will see the difference between the data transmission and data communication and the networking. In networking, we are referring to the process of interconnecting two or more networking devices in order for them to establish connectivity and also to be able to share data. But in the data communication, it involves the process where the data is moved from one end to another. So we see that combining the two, data communication and network, then we are interested in the process how data is moved from one networking device to another through the network infrastructure. And the infrastructure is the process where the devices are put together in such a way that they allow this communication to take place. Are you fine? So when you put the two together, we say that data communication and networking provides a clear and a straightforward understanding of many of the components and operations of data networks, which guide how it's to go. So it's a system of interconnected computers and computerized peripherals, such as printers is connected in computers in order to do this communication. This interconnection among computers facilitates information sharing among themselves. The computer may connect to each other by either wired or wireless media. That indicates that in our data communication, we may be able to transmit data through a wired medium or wireless medium. So the main objective of data communication, as I said earlier, and networking, is to enable seamless exchange of data between 2 points in the world. You can be in your room and send information to someone outside this country, either in US, UK, Afghanistan, or any part of Asia. That is what data communication is about. Seamless means of sending data from one medium to another. And as I said earlier, networking is about setting up the infrastructure or connecting the networking devices such a way that they'll be able to establish connectivity and then also allow data to be transmitted. Any question on that before we move on to the difference between data and information? Any question? Okay, no. Then now let's move on. From your own understanding, we know about data and information. But when you come to the concept of data communication and networking, we refer to data as a raw fact. A raw fact, whilst the information we refer to as a processed data. So in our day-to-day activities, we always deal with these two. You may be talking about data or information. Now, information at a certain level becomes someone's data, and then that data will be meaningful to someone, or that data may be used by someone to also achieve another result. That becomes information. So in the information cycle, data at a certain stage can be referred to as information, depending on the level where the data is being processed up to. But in the raw natural state, we say that data is a raw information. So it's a raw information. Or data is raw. It does not have meaning. It is not meaningful, but information is meaningful. You can also say that data is an input, while information is referred to as output. Then we can also say that data is always made up of three basic elements, which could be numbers, letters, or symbols. So you can say that data is an input, data is raw, and data is unprocessed. These are the various ways you can describe what the data is. Now, when you come to information, it's that information is meaningful, information is processed, information is useful, because at each point you have a meaning to it. At each point, you can see that it has been transformed from its raw state to another. And then information also is an output. It's an output, so you can refer to it as an output of a system. Okay. Now, coming to this, our networking environment. The data communication is a process of exchanging data or information. Now, in the case of computer network, this exchange is done between two devices over a transmission medium. That should be the picture you should have in your mind. That always data communication is a process of exchanging data or information. In computer networks, the exchange is done between two different devices and must pass through a transmission medium. And the medium will be either a wired medium or a wireless medium. You can also say that the medium will be guided medium or unguided medium. And finally, you can also say the medium could be cable or cordless. These are the various terminologies you can use to describe it. Then the process also involves communication system, which is made up of hardware and software. For every data communication system, you should always have in mind that the communication system can only take place when there is a hardware and software component involved. We also have a set of rules, and the set of rules are the one that defined the type of data that needs to be transmitted. So you must also have this at the back of your mind. So now let's look at this. What is the hardware part of the data communication? This one involves either the sending device or the receiving device. Sending device or the receiving device. It could also include the transmission medium as well. So your cable could also be in form of that. Now, the software part involves the rules which specified what need to be communicated or transmitted, how it's supposed to be communicated or transmitted over the medium. And this set of rule, the rule can also be called protocol. So when you hear the word protocol, you should be able to know you are referring to the set of rules that defines how data need to be transmitted. Right. Any questions so far up to this point before we proceed?
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, please, just a quick question. Most of the time, you see, data and information is being used interchangeably. Please,
hey, where are you? Your network is breaking.
Please, can you hear me?
Also, the network was breaking.
Hello?
Yes.
Please, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, right now.
Yes, I was asking that most of the time you see data and information being used interchangeably. But I want to ask you if you can, what is the thin line difference between actual data, because we understand data as raw, as input, as you said, information as being processed data that is meaningful. But sometimes data and information is being used interchangeably. That's where I'm a little bit, or if you can make a clarification over there for me. Thank you.
Thank you too. The challenge here is choice of words and a lack of technical knowledge between the two. So as you rightly said, data is an input, and then they say that information is an output. So data is raw, and the information is processed. And you can also refer that data is meaningless, while information is meaningful. So at each point, when you have this at the back of your mind, then you know what you are referring to at a particular time. But again, I said data information at a certain stage in the information process cycle, someone's data can become someone's information. And someone's information at a point can become someone's input value, which is the data.
Okay,
so, yes, so depend on the stage where it's being used. But the clear difference is that if you want to use the word data, then you must refer to it at the point where the data needs to be processed. And it has two main elements. The main element here become raw because we talk about numbers, we talk about alphabets, then we also talk about symbols. So at the raw state, for instance, we are dealing with an input capture of a system. Like you go to bank and then you are going to put in your money. At that point, what are you doing? You are doing an input. But at the same time, you have cash at hand. You know the amount. So if you are writing 5,000, you can write the figure 5,000. If you not put the CD sign against it, can you capture it as an input or output figure? Can you refer to it as a CD, dollar, or pounds? Do you have a meaning to it? Hello?
Yes, I say I get you. I understand it now. Thank you.
So, yes. So if you are going to put money in the account, you'll be required to add a currency sign. Once you add that currency sign, then it becomes meaningful to whoever is receiving it. So when they are crediting you, they will credit you as either a CD value or dollar value or pound sterling value. So that makes it so every data comes with three main elements: symbols, numbers, and then alphabet. And how you arrange them The process of rearranging these symbols, the symbols, the numbers, and then the alphabet is what we refer to as information processing or as data processing. So that is the clear difference that I can see over here.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other difference or questions anybody want to find out before we progress to the next thing? Talking about characteristics of data communication system. That is our next topic. Okay, no question. Now, when we talk of characteristics of data communication system, then here we are referring to the things that define what a data communication system is. And basically, every data communication system must have the following. First one, we refer to it as delivery, how the system is able to deliver information to its corresponding destination correctly without any error. So from every data communication system must be able to deliver the information or the data to its intended destination or user without any error. That is one. So delivery. Then the second one, accuracy. Accuracy is about how sure or reliable the data will be delivered without introducing any error to the delivery process. You know, when you have a gutter and you are passing through, you are pouring water for it to flow from one end to another. If you don't have a very good tunnel that the water can go through smoothly, by the time the water gets to the other side, it may be contaminated. So the reliability or the accuracy of the delivery is very important here. So accuracy is a key factor of data communication. So delivery, how the information will be delivered to the right intended person. Accuracy, how sure or reliable the information will be delivered without any error. Then we also have what we call timeliness. Timeliness is referring to the variation in the delivery of the information without any delay. Example, there are some TV stations that when you are watching them, you will see the person's mouth being opened for some time before you hear the sound. Now, the timeliness here may be dealing with the variation between the image and then the sound. So when you are doing transmission, there should be a synchronization between the video and then the audio, so that the two can move together. So as you see the image, you also receive the sound at the same time. So you don't hear the voice after the person has opened his mouth and then he's saying different things, then now the voice will be echoing. That is not the best thing about the data transmission system. So every system must have what we call timeliness. We deal with the audio and the video data has to be delivered in a timely manner without any delay. Such delivery is called, or such delay in data transmission cause about distortion. So you have to make sure that it is done within the normal frame so that the two can synchronize at the same time. And that's what we are referring to as timeliness. Then we have what we call jitter. Jitter is the variation in the packet arrival time. Variation in the packet arrival time. Even though jitter may affect the timeliness of the data being transmitted, but every data communication network is required to maintain this jitter that ensure that data and delivery variation are synchronized. Let me give an example about this. When you are transmitting data, the size of data may be 10 MB. Now, this 10 MB cannot be transmitted as a bulk data. The data will be broken into smaller sizes called chunks, and each of them will take a different path. And as they move, they all take a different path. By the end of the day, when they get to the arrival point, they will come together and reassemble and then form the size that have been transmitted. So the variation of the various chunks of the data that have been broken down into electromagnetic signals that have been transmitted must also be able to arrive at the same time, irrespective of the path that they take, so that there will be no variation in the packet arrival. They must all move out at the same time and arrive at the same time so that they can be synchronized and then presented as a one document. So when you are transmitting 10 MB and they move out different channels, when they come together, the 10 MB have to be reassembled. And then when you check, the full size have to be realized. And that means that the system is sufficient for data transmission. So in a simple terms or summary, these four main key requirements are things that every data communication system must have. We talk about the delivery, talk about the accuracy, talk about the timeliness, and then finally jitter. Are we fine? Any question? Okay, if no question, then let's proceed. Now, components of data communication. Components. Every data communication has some basic components, and these components are outlined over here. There are 5 in number, so put it at the back of your mind. Even when you are sleeping and someone asks you, you should be able to say it. 1 is the hardware and the software that we talk about, hardware components and the software components. So one of them is, for the hardware, we talk about the sender. The sender's machine or device is considered as a hardware, and it's one of the components. And the receiver's device will also be a hardware, so it's also a component. So we have a sender, we have a receiver, and then you also have the transmission medium through which the message is going to be, or the data is going to be transmitted. That's the third one. Then now, depending on the data need to be transmitted, there should be a corresponding set of rules that should define how that data will be transmitted. So when the data is there and it needs to be transmitted, then the corresponding set of rules have to define how that data should be transmitted. So we say that set of rules or protocol is also one of the components. So when you want to repeat it, we have set of rules, we have a sender, we have a receiver, and then we also have the message itself which need to be transmitted. That is the data, the message that needs to be transmitted. So these are the 5 main components that made up a data communication system. Are we fine? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
after,
Yes, sir.
after we talk about the characteristics, you should also know about the 5 main components that made up data communication system. Now, in my exams, I don't ask questions that will be, what is this? What is data communication? What is the component of data communication? What is the characteristics? No, it will come in a narration form as a data communication and network expert. You are to outline the main component of a data communication system. In that case, you should be able to outline. If it says that outline, just list them and go. If it says that outline and explain, then when you mention it, then you have to explain. So 1, you say set of rules. You have to explain what a set of rules is. Then if you talk about message, you have to explain what the message is. So that the message is the information to be communicated by the sender to the receiver. Then you are good to go. If you talk about a sender, you have to explain what a sender is. So a sender is any device that is capable of sending the data or a message that needs to be transmitted. Class, are you following what I'm doing here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. And the receiver also, you should be able to explain what the receiver is, a device that sends what needed to be communicated. Then that's when you are good to go. All right, next thing, protocols, we have talked about it. It is agreed upon set of rules used by the sender to communicate data. Then we have The next thing, how data is represented. I have already talked about it. A minute. Should I send a link to? Okay. I've already talked about the data representation. Data representation. I believe you all remember. Who can tell us what are the various form data is represented? Yes, who can try? The form which data is represented.
Okay, sir, I'm trying.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. In your submission, you said data is raw facts. And 2, data is meaningless, can be represented as meaningless symbol or number.
Good. I was expecting you to give an example of what make it meaningless.
Okay,
Because
sir.
the data is wrong. Yes. So say it again. So what are some of the things that make it meaningless?
Yes, it's data could be in the form of a symbol, a number,
Yes.
or a letter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So data can be represented in which form? So which form can the data be represented here? In a simple terms, which form?
As
How can we
raw,
represent
in the form of a raw
data?
fact.
So it can be, if you are taking the raw data, the example would be alphabet, which is 1. Hope you agree.
Yes, sir.
Then the second one is what?
Number.
Numbers, good.
Yeah.
And then the third one?
Symbol.
Symbol, good. Precisely, those are the format which data can be represented. So data can be represented as a text. You can say a text, or it can be represented as an image or a symbol, and data can also be represented as in the form of what? The volume should go down. Okay, so those are the things that you must know. So text, numbers, and images. Now, the numbers involve 0 to 9. 0 to 9, and the text alphabet A to Z, and they involve the ANSI standard form of encoding. Then the images involve the pictures or the symbols that you see. Then you remember, we also have the audio. Audio can also come here. So sometimes we have a way of combining the image with the audio, and then sometimes the audio with the image, which have to be synchronized such a way that the two can be seen. Now, how sharp or how smart your image will be will depend on what we call pixels. Pixels, the full meaning is picture element. So depending on the quality of your pixels, so the number of pixels you have on your system will determine the quality of your image that you will receive or you see. So those of you who are in the modern age and you are using the special devices, you see that the same picture or image, it can appear nicer in someone's machine or phone than another one, especially those of you using the eye products. The qualities of the eye product are higher than that of our friend Infinite and then the Technos. And so, is there anyone using Techno and Infinite here?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Where are they? Who are those people? Okay, so the Samsung, then the iPhones, you see the difference in the pictures or image that you see. And the most commonly or common used images format we have are the JPEG, the PNG, the BMK, and so on. So those are all from file extensions or the format that can be used to represent our images. So the Technos and then the Infinites, please, you have to upgrade. But please, if you don't have mobile, if you don't have laptop, don't go and buy iPhone. Kindly trade it off and get any Infinite or Techno for your course. When you are done, you can move on to the executive ones. I hope you do so.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We
And
do.
those of you who have the 13 Pro Max and the 17 Pro and you don't have laptop, please trade the phones off and get a laptop for the course, because it's very important. When you are done, you can get the best out of your qualification that you have acquired. All right. This note, we are proceeding. Now the video, I've already talked about it, broadcasting. The video can be broadcast in form of image. Now, the next one, data flow. Data flow, how data flow in data communication. Basically, there are three ways by which data flows in data communication system, network system. One of them is called simplex. Simplex is a type of communication whereby two stations involved in communication, only one station can be, the communication can take place only one direction. It's a type of communication whereby communication can take place in only one direction. We cannot have the two medium communicating through the same channel. The communication is done through only one direction. Example is between your CPU and then your monitor. But in the modern systems, where you have touch screens, yes, you can send data through the screen to the CPU. But in normal circumstance, it is only moved from one direction to another. Another example is our television stations and then radio stations. Now you agree that whenever there is a broadcast from the television station or radio station, you can only receive in your radio set or receive in your television set, but you cannot speak to the broadcasting station through your radio under normal circumstance. I don't know if these days it's possible. Maybe Apostle Safo Kantanka's system can support it, or I don't know. But under normal circumstance, if you want to communicate back to the radio station or the television station, what do you normally do? How can you get back to the radio station or the TV station? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How will you communicate back to radio station or television station? Hey, you can use telephone or mobile phone. So if you want to call, sometimes they do it and they say, oh, let's allow the listeners to also communicate and share their view. I hope you have been hearing this form of communication.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So when it happens they have to open a phone line and give the number out there so that listeners can now communicate through the telephone line. But you don't communicate through the radio or the television set. So that type of communication is what we are referring to as simplest mode of communication. Means that the communication takes place only in one direction. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And nowadays, some of these technologies, because of the use of the touch screen, you can now input through the screen and then also receive your output through the screen. Under normal circumstance, that's the best explanation. The next one is half duplex. Now, half duplex is a type of communication that involves two stations, but only one station can transmit at the same time. Only one station can transmit at the same time. So what we can say is that one station transmits at a time. Only one station transmits at a time. You can also put it that way. So when two stations are communicating, once they are all ready to talk, one person have to hold on for one to speak. After he or she has finished speaking, then the other one will do. Typical example is walking, talking. You hear, do you have some officers on board? Either military, migration, fire service, police. Sometimes they use those radio devices, and only one person talk. You say over. If a person finish talking, you say over or Roger. Then the next person will talk. So that is a typical example, Motorola. So put it in your mind. Half duplex. Now, having explained full duplex, having explained a half duplex and simplex, who can tell us what a full duplex is? Full duplex. Hello. Can you see the diagram on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, who can tell us? Mr. Solomon Yankee, can you please give us an idea about full duplex? I know some of you are getting tired.
Yeah, please, it's the normal smartphone we are using now.
Which one? How normal it is?
The current smartphone we are using now.
Okay. How does it work?
You can be talking while the other person is talking, and the
Okay, that's
message
good.
is
That's good. Class, I hope you follow what he said. Thank you, Mr. Is it Irenchi? Is it Irenchi, Solomon Irenchi, right?
yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Is your father an apostle of Pentecost, Church of Pentecost?
No, sir.
Or is a namesake? There are some Irenchis in the Church of Pentecost. All right. So that's it. Now, the full duplex is a type of, or is a mode of communication, or you can say that is a type of data communication whereby two stations or both stations can communicate at the same time. It's a type of communication whereby both stations can communicate at the same time through the same medium. They communicate the same time through the same medium. Look at it, the arrow is just in and out. So meaning that both stations, station 1 and station 2, can all communicate through the same medium. The only thing is that you, the users, have to pay attention and listen to yourselves. Or one person have to hold on for others to talk. But the device, the method gave you the ability for both devices to communicate at the same time. An example is mobile phone, as our friend has indicated precisely as is stated over there. So now we are done with those basic fundamentals of data communication. I think we have at least some minutes ahead of us. So let's look at the basis of networking as well. Since we are done with the data let's move on to the basis of network. Now, having come to this far at your ages, who can tell us what a networking is? I've already explained it from the beginning part. What's a computer network? Here, we are dealing with specifically computer network because there are different types of networking. Business network, and then other transactional network, Vodafone network, Telecel, now Telecel. We also have MTN. So we are dealing with computer network. Who can tell us what a computer network is? In your own way or own way. Should I mention names? Who is God sent? Is it your right name?
Yes, please.
Okay, God sent, yes. Send some message to us. And Richmond, get ready after God sent has finished.
Okay, so a computer network basically you can say is a group of two or more computers. that are connected so they can share maybe information or maybe
Okay.
resources.
All right. That is a group of computers or two or more computers that are grouped together to share information. All right. You have done well. Yes, Richmond.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, it can be defined as a interconnection of two or more computers through a medium in order to share a common resource. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Also, interconnection of two or more computers. All right. I want the last version. So lower your hand. Any other person? Yes. They all, what they said is almost the same thing. Sean, your name is very nice. Yes, tell us something. Online, some people they'll connect and they'll be cooking, or others too will be watching football now that we are in the World Cup season. So I'll be mentioning names random. If I mention your name, you don't give me a response, -1. Cosweb, do you have the class list?
Sir.
If I -1 someone, you will make the record for me. So, Mr. Sean, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Is it Android or?
Yes, Android, sir.
Good.
So, computer network is a system of two or more computers.
Two or more
computers.
Okay.
That are connected to exchange information.
Okay, all right. I hope you are not reading what is on the slide.
No, sir.
Because I disagree what is on the slide, but it's already there. So you are all saying the same thing. All right. I use a reference book and this is how it captured it, but I want you to modify a bit. All of you have done well, but you all said almost the same thing. It's a connection of two or more computers. It's a connection of two or more computers. That's a run through all. But remember that when you talk of computer network, even though the word is saying computer network, but it involves more than just the computers. In our offices, in our homes, we connect not only computers to our networks. Do you agree? You connect things like your mobile phone, your printers. You also connect computers as well. Then your fax machines are connected, scanners. These days, people even connect photocopier to it, and they all share the same medium to transfer data or to print data or to access data or information. So I want you to expand the scope of using the word computer. So if you say computer network, even though the word is computer network, you can say that computer network is interconnection of two or more networking devices. Because here, even though it's computer network, when it comes to our offices, we don't connect only computers over there. So we should expand it. It's interconnection of two or more devices. Now, what is the purpose? Two main things. One, for establishing connectivity. Then two, for sharing resources. So note this, two main basic purposes, sharing resources and establishing connectivity. There are other more things that you can talk about, but when you come to the main purpose for the network, then establishing connectivity and then for sharing resources. Now, establishing connectivity. Why do we establish connectivity? You do it so that you can share data, you can communicate, you can also improve access and then speed up of your productive sessions. So those are the reasons. So basically, though it is sharing resources and then establishing connectivity, but you can talk about more other things in addition. Now, sharing resources, the resources could be either hardware or software. People who are in the same organization can share a printer in the same office, and then those who are also in the same organization can share a software. So when you install a software, you can deploy the software through the network so that all those who are supposed to use it can also have access to it. So those are the purpose for which it is being used. So sharing resources, hardware can be shared, and then device or resource like applications can also be shared. Are we fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you see the further explanation, it's a computer network can be defined as a collection of nodes. You see that it has expanded. Nodes are the devices that connect to the network. And nodes can be any device capable of transmitting or receiving data. And the communicating nodes have to be connected by a communication link. So you use a cable or wired. Now, computer is an information tool, and then the rest can be added. Now, network enhance the computer's ability to exchange, preserve, and protect information. Network make it easier to share expensive hardware and software. As I said earlier, instead of you buying computers for 10 users in the same office and then buy 10 printers, you can go and buy one network printer, and then the rest, and you can connect it directly to the network or connect it to one machine. Then the rest of the staff members or the office users can all print through that single machine. If it's a direct network printer, you only connect it direct to the network, and all the users there can connect with. So it's a type of information exchange from business to business. The way the information is stored and worked with also varies. So if you are in a business environment, you have a business data, how it is stored and accessed is different from when you are in the environment where you deal with academic record. So every sector has its own mode of storing and accessing their data, but the general principle is the same. Next, uses of computer network. What do we use computer network for? These are a few uses of computer network. One, for sharing. Two, high reliability, saving money, scalability, access to remote information, person-to-person communication, interactive entertainment. These are all few things, as I said earlier, you can use the computer network for. Now, I want to ask this question. Saving money or saving costs. How does computer network help you to save money? Anybody? How does it help to save money? If you follow the explanation carefully, I explain with an example. I want somebody to reiterate it for us. Saving money, how does it help us to save money? Let me see whether you are following what we are doing. Those who have not spoken. But if you have spoken and you want to say it for us to move fast, you can go ahead. Mr. Samuel Aqua. Any idea how network can help you to save money?
All right, sir. Please, as you said earlier, for instance, if you're in an organization and then you want to buy 10 printers for every user, you can buy one network printer and then share that network printer to all the users over there. So it's going to save you money instead of buying 10 printers.
Okay. It's when you want to buy 10 printers for 10 users. It's not 10 printers for every user. I hope you get it. 10 printers for 10 users. Good. Now, what do you think will be some of the disadvantages if you all agree to what he said? You have 10 users and you are required to buy 10 printers, 10 computers. But with the installation or introduction of computer network, all the 10 users can print through a single printer. Even that one, it helps you to control the printing, it helps you to manage it, so you save costs. Good. So I'm asking, what are some of the challenges with the introduction of the computer network as well. Can you think about something? Challenges that it also imposes. Okay, so
Please,
Aqua.
delay in performing task.
Hey, delay in performing tasks. How does the network rather
It
delay
can be
in performing tasks?
when a lot of people are connected on a particular network, there will not be fast in processing their information or performing their.
This one, it is rare. What is when the network is not well structured? If the traffic on it is also overwhelming, then congestion can set in. So that is one. Okay. Any other? Yes, Mr. Aqua, once again. Yes, I like your spirit.
All right, sir. So you need to train the end users on how to use the devices.
Okay, so cost of training of the system is another thing. Any other challenges the use of the system network? Now, I mentioned Mr. Aqua, he's on fire. Let me mention another person's name. Johnson Doe. Do you have any lady in this class?
Yes, sir.
I see some Madeline. Yes. Yes, Ellen.
Sir.
Yes.
Security risk.
Good. In fact, Ellen, I'll give you +1 mark for the first time you have spoken. Can you explain it? How does network pose security threat?
Well, hackers can attack the.
Okay.
Data can be
compromised, right?
Hello, sir.
Yes, data can be.
It can be hacked.
Okay, it can be hacked. So, all right. When the system is compromised, data can be hacked. Good. That's fine. So it's one of the challenges you face when you have introduced network, even though you have a number of advantages. But you are here to learn. That is why you are here. So as you set it up, you also have to provide the mechanism of protecting the resources that are on the network. So security measures have to be put in place. That's a good point. So security risk is one of the key factors when you introduce networking. Are you all fine?
Yes, sir.
Good. Another thing is initial cost of installation. Initial cost of installation is also expensive to set up the initial system. When you are buying the hardware component to set the network up, it's also expensive. So it becomes a challenge. And most CEOs, managers don't want to hear that. So as we are learning, we are thinking about the good and the benefits, improving your resources, or high reliability, saving costs, and reducing sharing resources, access to remote information. The CEOs will also be thinking about to save costs, minimize costs. So if you ask them to buy something initially, there will be resistance to those things, but you have to educate them. Gradually, they'll buy into it. Then finally, they'll begin to save costs in long term. So that's the advantages and some of the disadvantages. So you should note, you can be asked to outline any of the challenges of using computer network and some of the benefits that you get when you also introduce computer network. Now, next one, category, the criteria for data communication network criteria. What should be the criteria that data communication network should follow? As we talk about data communication network, we also have the data communication network must follow certain criteria. In terms of performance, it must be able to carry out the tasks as required, and a consistency. there should always be a particular steady way of doing things. You don't come today, the network is up, the next time is down, as our friend said. If it happens so, people will begin to say that, oh, this company, when you go, this is how they are. So there should be a consistency in terms of delivery. The reliability, you must be sure that whatever you are sending can get to its destination. The system is supposed to meet the demand of users and be able to provide the intended purpose for which it has been set up. Then recovery. Whenever the system breaks down, it should have a way of recovering from the downtime so that data will not be lost. Neither will the users see it as a failure. So look at it. When your mobile phone is misbehaving or your computer is misbehaving and then you restart it, you notice that after restarting, when they come up, most of the system errors are normalized. So that is one of the criteria that need to be met. Anytime the system breaks down, should be able to recover from it, sometimes on its own or by you restructuring it. Then security. You must have a good security requirement so that it will be able to protect the resources and the users that are on the system. So when you set up a network, the network must be secure such a way that it will protect the users, it will protect the resources and things that are supposed to be in place. Are we fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please spend some time, then you read through those aspects and you'll be fine here. Now, factors that affect response time. Factors that affect response time. When you set up a network, our friend talk about, I think one person talk about the delay. The delay. Yes, when you have a large number of users on the network, it will always run slow. So in order to improve the performance, you must set the network such a way that it is able to manage the congestion, or you must be able to manage the congestions on the network so that it will always work fast, not seems to be slow whenever people are, or a lot of people are on it. Then transmission speed. The speed that the data will be used for transmission will be measured in bit per second, and then it will depend on the transmission medium that is being used. So we talk about media type, the type of physical connection used to connect the node together will also determine the transmission speed and the factor as one of the factors that is involved. Then we talk about the hardware type. What are the type of hardware that we are using? If you at this time you are using Pentium 4 or Pentium 5, and your network you are using a 4G network or 5G, you can imagine what will happen. There will be a bottleneck at the end of the device. So you must also use up-to-date device so that there will not be a bottleneck at one part of the system. So don't go and be using 486 device and be expecting Aggor series should be able to perform fast as supposed to be. Then the next one, software program. How well is the network operating system written? So the type of software you use is also important. Then cloud application in use. There are some people, most of their resources are all on the cloud, but you don't have a good internet bandwidth. So how will you happen to access it? It will definitely run slow. So if you are using the system whereby most of your services are stored in the cloud, then you might use high-end devices. You must also get a very good bandwidth, have a good transmission medium so that these resources can be accessed very easily on a good time. So if the application uses the network resource, where every time as a user uses this product. So make sure your systems are very tight to the point that we are able to meet the requirement of the system. Consistency, as I said, it is the predictability of the response time and accuracy of data. Users prefer to have a consistent response time than they developing a field that, for a normal operating condition, this is how to happen. Reliability, the time the system will take to fail should always be checked. Then recovery, as I've explained. Recovery is the network's ability to return to a prescribed level of operation after the network fails or after network failure. So it must always, based on the backup system, you must make sure you do a good backup. That once your system is on the network, don't relax. You have to make sure you keep record of your system so that you can be up to date in terms of failure or disaster. Then finally, security, as I said earlier, is the protection of hardware, software, and then data from unauthorized access. You must be able to restrict people. So restricted physical access to the computer. Don't go to your company and just set up a computer and leave it open without being secure. First, there should be physical security. 2, there should be a means of protecting the resources on it. And then you must also limit access to users to the system. And even those who have access to the system, you must limit their privileges, what they can do in the system. You must be able to limit them. So these are some of the things that comes under the security. Data encryption are common security methods that can be used. Now, antivirus monitoring programs are also to be defined against computer virus and the security measures. So you don't just set your computer down, then go and sit down. You must make sure the rest are all protected. Any question up to this point before we move on to the last session? Classification of computer network. Any question? Any contribution? All right. I hope we are not tired.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes. Under the security, I didn't hear anything about firewall. I don't know if you can explain something about it for me. Thank you.
Oh, we said security measures. So firewall is also one of the means you can use.
Okay.
Anything that you need to do in order to protect your resources, your users, and then the computers, is you have to put them in place.
Okay.
So we said, restricted physical access, use of password protection, limiting users' privileges, and then data encryption are all common security mechanisms that you need to employ. Then you carry on with the antivirus. And then firewall is also another means by which you can protect traffic that moves from outside and the traffic that leave the network. Thank you for adding up or asking. All right. These are all introduction. We'll go into the session where if you meet again, then we can delve into the security mechanisms that need to be implemented. All right. Now, any other concern before we start the classification? I think we have 8 minutes to go. All right. Classification of computer networks. Now, computer networks can be classified into 3 main broad areas. If I were to have time, I'll ask you to give me types of computer network, and I'm sure most of you will mention a lot of things. But because of time, I want to proceed. But can anyone give me one type of network that you know?
Local area network.
Local area network, good. Any other?
You see land for this, so you see local area.
Personal area network.
Personal area network. Okay, PAN. Any other type?
Wide area network.
Wide area network, good. Now, as you are mentioning them, you see, you can continue on and on and on. You can talk about, someone will come and say that ring, someone will talk about star hybrid, then you also talk about internet, extranet, peer-to-peer, and so on. They are all different type of network. But to avoid the confusion and the congestion in your mind, computer networks have been classified into 3 main areas in order to simplify the various types of computer network that we have. So 1, we classify computer network by range. By range, we are talking about the coverage, the network that covers a particular area, either small area, a large area, or global area, which is the wide area network. So those of you mentioning LAN, WAN, MAN, PAN, personal area network, campus area network, they all fall under one category called category by range or network by range. So when you see network that is designed to cover a specific area or a geographical area, then you classify that computer under range or by geographical location. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then the next one is network by topology. Now, topology in network means that the networks are physically arranged and then they also communicate with each other. So we have 2 types of network topologies. 1, physical topology, and then 2, logical topology. Now, defining the difference with the physical topology, we are referring to how devices are connected on the network. Then when you come to the logical topology, it's referring to how data is communicated or how the data is transmitted on the network. And that gives us the examples of your example that we're giving, the star, the bars, the ring, the mesh, and the tree. All those ones fall under network topology. So this is the first 2. And the last one is functional relationship or resource location. So these are the 3 main classifications of computer network. When you talk about functional relationship or resource location, then we are referring to how the networks interconnect each other, how they relate, how they access data, or how information is being fetched. That is about the functional relationship. And we have examples. A typical example here are we have by range, by network by range, we have a peer-to-peer, which is 1, peer-to-peer, meaning that the devices are connected together and none of them is a server. They are all masters on their own. Nobody is a boss. We call them peer-to-peer. Then we have another one, client-server. Client-server, that is the type of network whereby there is one centralized device or server which is responsible for all other devices that are in the system, where there is authentication, there's control, and then there is a way of defining roles and privileges for the rest. And the last one is, we call it multi-tier architecture. Multi-tier architecture. That is a type of network where the devices interconnect each other and they fetch data. Example is like internet server plus proxy server. When you are in organization and you want to secure your users from being exposed outside, you set up a system so that before they go outside to the internet, there's a device that receives the traffic from the client, and that device forwards the traffic to the internet, and the internet server now fetch the information from the internet platform, bring it to the server before it is being sent to the users. So those type of connection is known as multi-tier. Another example is those of you in the banking sector, you have application server, database server, and then you also have authentication server. So when somebody is searching for information, first the user's account is authenticated, Then a resource that the person is looking for will be sent. If it's not found, it will go to application server. If the application server does not have it, it will fetch it from a different server before it will display the result. That chain of connection is also known as multi-tier architecture. So these are the three main types of network classification that we have: by range, and then by topology and functional relationship. And I remember topology is divided into two: physical topology and then logical topology. Are we fine? Any question before we go? Okay, so these are the explanation of the various one and the examples. Question or no question? Okay, that means that you are following everything that we have done so far. So the classification, when you talk about the topology, they are here. So bar, star, ring, mesh, and so on. Then when it comes to the, which one is it? The classification, functional relationship, they are also here. We have the peer-to-peer, we have client server, and we have multi-tier architecture. Class, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. And then the last part, protocol, we also talk about it. Protocols are the set of rules that define how data is communicated in the system. Okay. We are sending messages like a video file, how it will be sent will be different from when it is audio file. So you also need to know how the transmission is done. So the type of data you are sending is determined by its corresponding protocol that is required to enable it to be sent. So the rest, I want to leave it here for you to go and read. When we meet, then we talk about the rest from this syntax. Okay, let me finish. Syntax and the semantics. These are the format, how it will be sent. I will start from the standards and explain what type of standards we have and the difference between the standards in networking. So on this note, I want to end here and invite questions if there are any, because you have had a long day and I don't want to keep you on and on and on. Any question before we leave?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please, the slides are not on the LMS.
Yes. I said it that after the class, I will upload it for you.
Oh, okay.
I'll upload everything on your behalf. So within the week, by the time you check, everything will be there. I'm overwhelmed by a lot of activities, so I couldn't do it before you join in the class. Any other concern? Okay, now as a way of adding up to your social life, I always share messages at the end of my class, either before end, in order to inspire you and to keep you on and on. Now, this week, so tomorrow is Men's Day, right?
Yes.
And we have some men here. I'm sure there are some women also available who will be celebrating their men. So I want to encourage you with this message. As you go through the celebration, you think about it and ponder. So somebody do us the honors by reading the message for us. Michael, are you reading or are taking attendance?
Yes, I'm here.
And who is reading? I heard a female voice.
Yes, sir. Ellen, sir.
Yes, Ellen, go ahead.
Message of the day.
Yes.
That is Proverbs 20, verse 7. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now, he said, a just man walketh in integrity, and his children are blessed after him. Now, as we celebrate the Men's Day, the question that all the men here have to ask yourself, Are you a man who is walking in integrity, or you are a man who is walking by compromising your integrity? You remember, he said your children will be blessed after you, and which means that the life you are living today, you are not living for yourself, but you are living for a generation to come. Therefore, what will you do for your children? Live a life to a point that you may not compromise your integrity. You live to live by the values that you stand for, and wherever you go, your children who will come after you shall be blessed. May the Lord help all the men here and the women that are on board to live integrity, so that your children will be blessed after you. So God help you as you go through this in Jesus' name. If you believe it, you can say amen to that.
Amen.
Amen.
Right. So as you celebrate the day tomorrow, remember you have to walk in integrity. God bless you all. Thank you for coming. Take care of yourself. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson up to this point. Hope to see you, God willing, next week. Stay blessed. Yes. Madam Ellen, you earn yourself additional mark for reading the first message of the day semester. Thank you very much. And the course rep also have 1 mark for being proactive, and then we are standing for the day. I'll give more to you as you go along. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
I'll get to it when my pen are finished.
Oh, and you just said some over here.
Yeah.
Oh, they take the money when you go, you buy.
Oh, no.
Hey, you're a big one. Hey, the weather seems not to be good, though. I saw something, they said, hey, sorry.